So for everyone that is dropping in live, just let me know if you can hear me. Hmm. So for everyone that is dropping in live, let me know if you can hear me. Hi everyone. I'm not sure who's watching live, who's watching later, but let me know in the comments if you can hear me. That would be great. Yay. Cool. Yes, perfect. So before we start, just grab anything you need, maybe some tea or cacao, water, light a candle if you haven't yet. And I'll wait one more moment for anyone who's joining live. Who else is having cacao? No, maybe. Damn, I can see. Ooh, Tulsi roasty. Miriam has cacao. Nice. I have a mix of the calming sweet and energizing space tea. But more calming than energizing. Nice. So I guess we'll start if everyone's back. Okay, let me see. Is there? Yeah, calming one. Nice. Perfect for an evening again. So welcome everyone who's watching now, but also welcome to everyone who's watching later. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here tonight. I am really excited to share this journey with you. Um, we'll end around 9 p.m., maybe earlier, maybe slightly later, depending if you have questions. And yeah, so we'll start off with grounding in. So you can close your eyes if that feels safe to you, or just gaze in front of the floor. Maybe you have a candle there so you can watch the candle flame. Sitting onto something so your spine can elongate. And then just take a few deep breaths here into your belly. Really feeling how your breath is moving to your physical body, filling it up, letting it expand. And exhale through the mouth, let it go. Two more times. Noticing your toes, you're gently wiggling them. And then from your toes, scan your body all the way up to the top of your head, noticing how you're feeling in this moment tonight in your physical body. Once you reach the top, take a deep breath in and exhale, let it go. Bring the hands to your heart, your chest. How are you feeling emotionally tonight? How's your heart space? What emotions are present? And ask for some space to be felt and released. Take a deep breath into your chest here. And then exhale, let it go. Maybe gently shaking the upper body out. Sometimes that feels nice. And from here, bring the palms of your hands together. How are you feeling mentally tonight? What is the quality of your thoughts today? What have been some thoughts that you've been maybe pushing away, not wanting to think through, or maybe fantasized quite a lot about, created a story? Noticing the breath as it flows through your nostrils, as if it's flowing into your head. Taking a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. How are you feeling energetically tonight, vibrationally? And maybe this question sounds weird, maybe not. Just notice how you're feeling overall. Do you feel connected to yourself or disconnected? Grounded or scattered? And all the million options in between. And take one more deep breath in. And exhale, let it all go. One more time. Now we'll rub the palms of our hands together, creating warm, healing energy. Maybe you see a color, maybe it's just a sensation. And then you can place your hands whenever you're ready, either over your eyes or wherever you feel you need extra nourishment in your body. and release your hands. And allow your body to soften here. Mm. Marinating in how you're feeling right now. And I'm inviting you in to set an intention for tonight. Maybe it's something you're calling in. Maybe it's something you're letting go. Maybe it's something you need to remember. And then take a deep breath in. Imagine you're inhaling your intention into your heart. And then exhale through the nose. Imagine your intention being distributed to every single cell in your body. Mm. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes and maybe gaze at the candle flame in front of you. Welcome back. I am always fascinated by this very simple practice. One of my teachers calls it the journaling yoga nidra. She made us a journal that at the beginning of the class I mostly create a meditation out of it, and it just helps us to drop in, to arrive. And this is one of the things, opening spaces in a way people are actually here. Um, Often when we go somewhere, we're just being constantly bombarded by information, and no one is asking if you're actually ready to take that information in. And that doesn't matter if it's on a mental level or emotional, physically, energetically, but honoring that we need maybe some time to arrive, to tune in, to synchronize and harmonize ourselves with the space we're in, and to connect ourselves first so we can actually connect with others too. And as you hear right now, I invite you in to honor that tomorrow, the rest of the week, the rest of this month, the rest of this year, and just like as you go out into the world, um, before you start working in the morning, before you go out of the house, like take a moment and tune in and give yourself space to digest and arrive. So, yeah, welcome. Welcome to tonight's online gathering. It's all about the Ceremonial Yin Yoga teacher training that I'll be hosting next year. And not only about that, but I also want to tell you a little bit more about its intention, about my journey, and why I actually created that or am in the process of creating it, and what have been some of my learnings as a yoga teacher for the past 6 years, as well as, of course, giving you an experience of a yin journey, because in the end, I feel like there are different layers we have, and the more we can talk to all of them, the more we can actually absorb something and yeah, just see how that resonates with us. So Maybe some of you know, some not. My name is Alex, and I was born in Zurich. I grew up here. I have Serbian roots, and I started practicing yoga at the age of 15. I don't think this is very important. It was mostly because of my back, but it's like where it kind of started. And I still remember my first yoga class. I had this short pants. I was 15, and I was like, what the fuck are we doing here? It was a hatha class, and just like, yeah, I was worrying how where my pants are, how I look. There was also a mirror in the front, and just like all these thoughts in my head. And this is one of the things that often happen when we start these practices, and especially yin. You're like, what the fuck is going on inside me? I didn't know it's that loud. Did I not come to relax and chill? And now I'm here, freaking out. Yeah. So I guess this is the magic of it, of getting to know ourselves better. And my whole journey till now has really been about trusting my intuition and my heart. And it's been like there have been quite some crossroads where it was like, am I going to take this direction or am I going to take this direction? And I can say like I kept choosing the direction of the heart. And choosing the direction of the heart doesn't mean that things will only work out nicely. It just means that you will do something that you don't feel like betraying yourself. And then along that way, you'll of course have lessons and experiences of all colors. I mean, this is the human experience, and I guess this is also important to honor when you teach, but we'll come to that later on. But anyway, like from I started practicing yin yoga somewhere in 2014, I think it was. I had a very stressful job, and I was like, okay, I can go once a week to yoga to calm down. And this is my self care moment, 1 hour, I can do that. I was mostly, I think, Sunday bliss, yin bliss, something like that. Um, and it was amazing, for that. And I think that relaxation can be like eye opening, like just to relax is already great. Um, but then yin yoga came back to my life when I was in Bali with my ex-boyfriend, and my mom came to visit, and I was looking for yoga classes to go with her. We went to a crazy Kundalini yoga class, and then I was like, fuck, that was not a good idea, with a sea of Om in the center. And yeah, and then there was a few yin yoga classes in that small town, and only one that we could go to that like matched the schedule, and it was a class with a man, and I was like, a dude teaching yin yoga, okay, that's weird, but yeah, let's go and see. Anyway, this was one of the best decisions, and this is what I love about, when we just go and we don't question things too much in terms of, is this the right decision? Is this the wrong decision? Should I go there or here? And we just don't make a choice, basically. Then, nothing's going to be able to unfold. But if you're kind of open and like in tune, these experiences will come, and you, of course, have to say yes to them if they feel good. And sometimes you don't even know where you're heading to. And it's mostly in those moments where you actually have zero idea what's going on that there is like this big thing happening. And for me, it was like I was before that 2 months offline with my ex in India. And it was a very interesting. I want to say interesting and intensive in one word. Yeah, it was interesting, it was intensive, and it was just not good, but also good later on. But when I went to this yin yoga class, there was only two mats in the front, free, and it was with Nick, my teacher, Nick from Yin Culture, and my mom didn't understand English, and I tried to translate, and she actually didn't care. She just followed, and she was fine. But I had my first moment of realizing, wow, like that I feel like responsible, and like all these things. Like suddenly you realize, and you just went to chill in a yin yoga class, and then you're like, fuck, yeah. And after that, I booked a pass for the whole month, and I went there every day for a 90 minutes yin class, sometimes with him or other teachers. And I remember I was always somewhere more in the front. At the end, I was really like in the center, like in the front. But I was like always somewhere on the side, rather in the front, making my yin cave. It was about like 30 degrees, 36, but I had like all these blankets and a zillion of props. And I was going deep. Like in each journey, I cried. I felt like meeting layers of myself that I have not known they're there. And when we start practicing yin yoga on a regular basis, we realize it can be blissful and it can be truthful. And sometimes the truth can be very painful. And I feel this is where this practice becomes transformational, where it becomes life changing, where it becomes, yeah, like something deeper than just decompressing from an unaligned life. And I realized in that class that I have to break up with my boyfriend, that I was traveling like 1.5 years intensely together. And I was there and I was like, okay, I get it, I accept it, I have to do that. And I was processing that in every class, but also realizing I cannot do this right now, I need more time. And this is one of the things when we change, when we transform, not everything has to happen immediately. And I feel yin yoga is one of these teachers, because you have to be patient and you cannot rush the process. Ooh. And there's a reason why you cannot rush it, because maybe you're not ready to be there already. You need these lessons now so you can actually cope with what's over there. And yeah, and I feel within yoga is this practice that kind of teaches you all of it, because when you're in a deep yin journey, you're gonna meet all these parts of yourself, and you're gonna go like up and down, and you have to kind of practice to hold space for yourself, which then becomes even more magical when you teach, because you know it's deep and you know where it can go. You don't know what's happening in every single person there, like in front of you. You just don't know, and you should never assume. But still, you can you embody it, and this is a really big deal. You're not teaching from your mind, you're teaching from your experience on all the different layers. And anyway, then I broke up, and another journey, it was like time to go to India again, and I prayed to this goddess Kali, and I arrived in that ashram, a Hindu monastery by the Saint Amma, the hugging saint. And I arrived there after like a real long journey by the train. After I reached the airport, sobbed on the whole way, as I did in my yoga class, through the airports from Prague to Cochin. To I think then in Cochin when I arrived, I was so exhausted. I just like took this 9-hour journey by train and buses and rickshaws to the ashram in a small fisher village. And I arrived there and I stood in front of a Kali temple, and I was like, what the fuck? There's a Kali temple. And it's like on this journey of the heart, I feel like there's gonna be this, you're gonna arrive somewhere meet someone and you're gonna be, oh, it just makes sense, and it's kind of aligned, and there are like synchronicities, and I feel this is very much also connected to yin as a whole, like just this magical practice, even though it's so simple, yeah, in a way. And I arrived there, and I went back to Bali, and I was like, I'm never gonna go back to Bali, blah blah blah, for different reasons. And then I remembered, oh wait a moment, I had this yoga teacher training that I booked for Yin, and I was like, okay, that's the last time I'm going to Bali. And then I went there, and it was the most um intense and magical experience in a way, because I went there and it was really low budget. I was really broke, because I was figuring stuff out and I didn't really know what I should do. And I went there and had this small room by the rice fields and a bicycle without working brakes, and there was no mosquito net, and I don't have a budget for it. Like it was really like low, low, low. But I went every day to this training in the morning, came back in the evening, and throughout this whole training, I didn't say much. I didn't connect really with the people, I must say, in that space. But I cried, and I went to a crazy process. I just cried going there. I cried being there. I cried going back home. I cried in the night. I just cried. I couldn't stop crying. And at some point, I didn't know anymore why I'm crying. I just felt I'm just releasing, releasing, releasing stuff that I don't even know of. And what I love about Yin Yoga is that you don't need to know what you're releasing. You're releasing. So isn't that good enough? You're releasing from your physical tissues, from emotional tissues, mental, from all the energetically. So, and that's like amazing. Also, you're gonna transform even like physically, like because suddenly your body just gonna become different because you released so much tension that you even were not aware of holding. So yeah, this was amazing. Was me telling that I'm never going to go back to Bali, and I went back to Switzerland. I Before that training, actually, I had a horrible heartbreak, um, and also yeah, I had a heartbreak too. So that was probably also part of releasing a lot. But anyway, then I went back to Switzerland. I hosted a retreat, and a friend of mine then did a cacao ceremony. And I was never curious about cacao, but then I just, she made a cacao ceremony. I had a super deep experience. She left me a little piece of cacao, and I made cacao and would go to the forest, and I would just visualize and imagine I'm meeting my soul family, my kind of tribe, my people, because I felt like constantly like I don't have those people like really, that I feel like really, my heart was craving that. And guess what? I got invited to assist those Yin culture teacher trainings in Bali that I attended. I was assisting 3 trainings in Bali and New Zealand, and I went back to Bali, and this was just another layer of holding space and practicing that. And after that, I started combining Yin journeys with cacao ceremonies, and this is how it started. This was back in 2018, I think. Yeah. So this is a little bit about my journey. I know this was now a long, long thing. But basically, even when I came back to live in Switzerland, it was my intuition telling me it's time to come back now. Even though my mind was like, what the fuck? Are you sure you want to go in the cold? You're here in India. It's nice. What, like, are you sure? That was my mind. And I was like, fuck, my heart tells me yes. And then, the whole pandemic happened. So just trusting that voice. And like, of course, like in the beginning it's like, what the fuck, which voice is it? Like, is it the fear voice, is it the love voice, is it my intuition, is it me freaking out? And I feel practicing yin yoga is meditation, and it helps you to get to know your mind so you actually can make a difference between all the different voices, the emotions, how you are as a person, how you're not, what is really you. And yeah, so this is like the message of this whole story is like, trust your heart. Your heart knows. And I know not everyone will agree with that because the heart is also emotional. But I believe that if we feel, we heal. And um, if we are able, even as space holders, to hold space for ourselves in the darkness, in the heaviness, then we can also hold space for people that are in that place. And you're not gonna feel like, oh my gosh, I need to go save someone or interrupt their process because I feel uncomfortable. And I mean, this is one of the things with teaching yin, what you learn in the beginning is to be in stillness, be in silence, and not change what's going on. Let people be in their process, holding space, not interrupting. Because how often are we somewhere, we share a story, we share something that's really important to ourselves, and then these people, for example, a friend, good friend, they mean it good, but they try to solve it. They try to tell us, oh, it's gonna be good. And we're like, I don't need to hear that. I just need you to acknowledge what I feel and hold space for me. And this is really hard for many people because they cannot hold space for themselves. They're not their feelings. They try to avoid some thoughts. It's all like, the basement is going to explode at some point, So that's why I love this practice so much, because even though it seems, I don't know, very easy and simple, and like maybe like, oh, I can't do slow yoga, it's so boring. Yeah, might be also boring, but this is just like a process you're in too, and there is so much more to explore if you're curious, and practicing to meet yourself without judgment. And if you are judging yourself, even being curious about that, like, oh, interesting. I really feel angry with myself right now. And then you feel the anger and you watch the thoughts, and you're not disconnecting, you're here, you're holding the space for yourself. So yeah, I feel this is really amazing. Um, yeah. So I don't know, maybe you already have something you want to write down on your paper. If you have some in front, maybe write something in the chat. I'll just take a moment before we shift into a different topic. But just, yeah, take a moment to breathe. And then let's stand up for a moment. Yes. And let's just gently shake our body out, just all the limbs. Really doesn't have to be a strong movement, but just shifting for a moment from the mat. Maybe you want to smudge, have a sip of water. And then when you're ready, you can come back down. So this is with teaching online, you can watch the people. So please, if there is anything, just write it in the chat, even as I talk, and I will have a look. Um, we're shifting into the training, its intentions, why I've created that. Um, for me, it was important to create a training where I feel really aligned and good about letting you go out and teach. And maybe you don't want to teach. I get it. This is also completely fine. This training is built in a way that it's really, you will learn a lot about teaching yin yoga. Obviously, like how to guide people safely into the yin shapes, what language to use, um, just like all the yin theory, but also the yin experience. You will meet yourself, you will have a full yin immersion. For me, it was important to find a space, a venue where you really get totally yin. Obviously, I could teach this here at the studio. It would be way easier. It would be, it would be easier. But easy is not always aligned, and easy is not always growing. So I don't want to just put another training out into the world. I want to put the training out that I feel is representing the way I see in yoga and the way I teach, so that people who resonate with it can have their immersion. And it doesn't matter if you're going to teach yin yoga, because the thing is, first of all, even without wanting to teach, it's like being curious about getting to know yourself. Be curious about how deep you can go, how much you can soften, how much your heart can break open. What is there that you feel? What is there that you can let go? What is there that your heart truly desires? So even though if you don't want to go teach yin yoga, but maybe you will have other realizations. And then what you learn, I mean, beside the yin part, it's also about holding space, about creating spaces, closing spaces. And this is not just something you're gonna do for a class or a ceremony or a yin journey. It's something you will do in your life. I mean, it's gonna change your life. And I know this is cheesy, and many people use this too often. We saw it everywhere on Instagram, but this is going to be life changing, because you cannot be 12 days, 10 hours a day immersed into yin and ceremony and not change. Like, I mean, you wouldn't be able even to handle it for a day. Then you would leave. That's why. Yeah, it's gonna shift something. I mean, how deep you want to go, that is your choice. That is your intention. This is like, I will only be there to guide you and hold the space for you to transform and go as deep as you want, knowing it's safe. It's a container. And yeah, so let me just check so I don't forget anything. So this was really important. Then it's 3 modules. Why is it 3 modules? I could do only one module. I realized I don't have enough hours to fit in 2 weeks. Plus, these modules need some space to digest in between. In the first module, it's really about experiencing yin and ceremony in your own body, mind, energy, emotions, and really learn all the skills around teaching, creating spaces, hands-on adjustments. I mean, just anything, so you can go out and teach if it's just a class setting. But then, what I miss in many yoga teacher trainings is a business module. And in the first thought, maybe yoga and business, why would you combine that? But I realized that, first of all, um, a yoga class, and this is already one of the aha moments I had teaching yoga. A yoga class doesn't start and end with a yoga class. And I mean, you can take this however you want, from doing your website, from writing people emails, for connecting on Instagram, for how you talk to the people in your life, how you leave a studio after you taught, how you go there, open, like create the space, like every single step matters. It's part of your life. And business, on finances, organizing things, like really becoming clear on what container you want to create, not just in the studio setting, but also all around. For that, you need other skills and other, just clear intentions. Like everything comes back to intention. And so it's like how to create business in a way from the heart, and how to be clear, have a clear mind and a pure heart, and really be in alignment with what you teach in the class, but also as you leave the classroom. And I mean, there is like a zillion things to think of. And this business model is going to be very practical. You're going to learn to build your website. You're going to get clear on what is actually that you want to offer. And look, I mean, if you don't want to teach yoga, maybe it's something else you want to create. Maybe it's another project. Maybe it's a side gig. Maybe it's whatever it is. It's not something that is a skill that you will never need. But even just like how to make an offering that is unique to you, and not try to mold in with everyone, but really do something that you feel passionate about, that you burn for. And also have like all this kind of mind stuff clear, but also like, hey, like practically, where do I do that? How do I do that? How can I set that up? So yeah, I feel this is really important, and I figured all these things out by myself. So you will also have in that module a body, so you work together, you motivate each other, you share, you co-create, and you learn, you kind of practice to know why you're offering what you're offering. And again, intention. What is the intention? So this is, yeah. So wait, before I go more into my aha moments. Okay, for who is this training? This training is for people who are really curious to go deep within, um, people who want to teach in a way that is not only like focusing on the physical body, or only on the mental state. It's like really energetic body, emotional body, physical body, and mental body. In yoga, it's all called bodies. They also have a little bit different names, but like, and then really teach from your heart, but also be aware how to guide people into this shape, so you keep it safe on different levels, without assuming something about the people that are in front of you. So as a yoga teacher, you're there to hold space and to be of service. It's not about you. Of course, this is your passion, but you're not there to, I don't know, be dogmatic. This is how I see it. You're not there to put your truth onto the people. You're there to empower the people to actually listen to their inner truth, to not make them then dependent on you again. Like how often do we see that in the yoga world? And I mean, there's many things that are wrong about it. And I just feel like it's important that you got the skill sets, you can hold space, but also some ethical kind of guidelines you can hold yourself accountable to actually practice that when it's easy and when it's hard. And there will be many choices you're going to make no matter what you do in life, no matter if you're self employed, no matter if you do whatever you do, you will have to make choices. And then you can always choose the easy way, the comfortable, that's my comfort zone. We're just gonna go for this, we're just gonna go high. Or you're gonna choose the way that is right, no matter if someone's watching or not. And this is like really important. Um, yeah. So the third module is practicing teaching. So you actually go out, you create events, one-on-ones, whatever your offering is, you experiment, you try out, and you don't pretend you're something you're not. This is really important. And maybe you don't want to teach yoga, but maybe still you feel, I don't know, inspired to share with some friends or family or coworkers, or I don't know, elderly people, or it, there is a, the business models will also focus on brainstorming like how you can teach, because there is not only I teach a 60 minutes yoga class in the yoga studio every week. There's many options. You can teach yoga in many, many different ways. And I love to think out of the box and out of, I don't know, like just like we have sometimes these fixed ideas how we should be, we should do something. And this training should also be an inspiration to look around the different corners and find what fits you. So you can actually go and feel passionate about it, and yeah, do it from your heart and not from your mind only. I mean, they all have to work together, but yeah. And as the more you purify your heart and your mind, with practicing, with doing what you need to do to manage your system, the more you can make clearer choices. I mean, it's just like that. Yeah. So, questions? Does anyone have questions right now? I was really grateful. Also, any comment, like, are you still here? I can't see you. So just let me know anything in the comment fields, like how you feeling right now. Is this making sense? Do you have questions? Yeah, just some sign that you're still here, so I know. Anyone? Still here, yay! Cool. Perfect. Maybe I should get glasses. I don't know if this is accurate to not see that from here. Yeah, I'm really glad you're all here. So, the aha moments. I mean, I shared already some with you. Let me check. Cool. So I already shared some, like, kind of like being of service. Okay, let me see. Perfect. Cool. So you can't, okay, really the basic of everything you do in life, and it's applicable to yin yoga, to holding space, to creating spaces, but really anything, is what is your intention? And it's a very simple question, and you can ask yourself, and with everything you do, what is my intention of saying this to this person? Why do I want to have a coffee right now? Why what is my intention of, you know creating a ceremony? What is my intention of being intimate with that person? What is my intention of choosing that job? Like, anything basis on intentions. And people are sometimes like, oh, there is no intention, but there is an intention, just maybe you're not aware of it. So coming clearer on what our motivations are and make the hidden one clear to ourselves before we go out and create a mess. And I mean, of course, we're gonna create a mess, we're gonna learn from it, this is part of it. But I mean, some of the stuff we keep repeating, maybe we just need to get clear about why we're doing that so we can change it. And yay! Oh, nice. Sorry. So yeah, paying attention to your intention. And it can be really hard sometimes because you kind of have to become radically honest with yourself. And I mean, you're not gonna have always very pure and loving and love and light intentions. And I mean, this is really part of being human and getting to know yourself. And in Yin yoga, depending on the way this every teacher teaches yoga in a different way. I mean, you're probably aware of it, and each style is different, and then each teacher in that style is different. And with Yin yoga, there is many different ways to teach it. The way my teacher Nick teaches it, and also my teacher Heidi, she doesn't teach only Yin, but and Nick also not. They all both come from a Hatha yoga tradition, but they all tell a story. It's a journey. You're not just, there is an intention behind why you're doing these shapes in this order. Because everything you do will gonna have an effect on your body, your mind, um, your energy, your emotions. So yeah, this is really important. And now you can start maybe noticing that. Yeah. So intention matters. And then you're here to be of service. You're not here to heal people. You're here to hold space and give them their power back. I cannot really, I don't like when I hear I don't like, it's just like, I think it's a dangerous space to be in if you feel like you're there to heal, you're there to give love, you're there to, it's great, be a giver in a way, also have good boundaries, but you're here to create a space for this person so they can tune in within themselves. You're not there to tell them what is wrong and right. I mean, that's how I feel as a space holder. I can, of course, I can be myself, I can share what I think, but I'm not gonna tell you, hey, this is the only truth. And the same is with teaching Yin. There are many different ways to teach it. There are wrong ways to teach Yin yoga. Also, of course, there are wrong ways to teach yoga. And I feel you have to have own experience and have gone through a good Yin training so you can actually teach Yin. Doing a dynamic yoga training will not be sufficient to teach Yin because it's a very different practice. That's why, even though you maybe don't have a yoga teacher training that you've done before, you could still go teach after this 140 hours, but maybe not after 20 hours of Yin training. I mean, that's just, it's impossible. Like, I can tell you, it's impossible. I tried to learn the first time in the beginning when I started teaching yoga, I tried to do a workshop learning to teach Yin yoga from a book. I mean, it was probably nice and cute, but it was not deep. It was not from my own experience. And we will all do weird stuff, and I just, yeah, this training will set you up to have clear intentions from the beginning, and of course experiment on yourself first before you experiment on the people. And if you experiment on them and try out something new, tell them, tell the people, like, be clear, be honest. I mean, this is one of the, people will feel it. no matter what you do or not do, people will feel it. And I mean, again, maybe you join this training just because it's for you, but even having all this insight is going to help you to live a different life, have different interactions with people. And yeah, so I think this is really important. Then walk your talk and pay attention to details. I can tell you zillions. I mean, I don't know how many zeros a zillion has. Is that even a word? But anyway, I have countless examples on yoga teachers not leaving a yoga studio clean and organized as they leave after a class. You don't want to be such a yoga teacher. This is just something I've noticed. And I've judged it, that I can admit it honestly. I've judged it because I don't like that. But this is my thing to work through, to not judge that, because none of us is perfect, obviously. But it's like, as I said, a yoga class doesn't start and end with teaching the yoga class. It really starts way before. It starts when you think of teaching and you think of setting up a class, a workshop, a ceremony, and you're like, okay, what's the intention? And then, everyone will have a different process of doing that. I'm not going to go too much into the detail now how I do that, but it's important to leave, like, this is one of the moments, leave a space better than how you found it. Either leave it organized or leave it better, but just like, I mean, and pay attention to details. I mean, you can go into a class and, of course, look, you can go into a class that has a beautiful space and your class can still be crappy. And you can go into have the most magical experience in a space that is maybe a basement. There is nothing, but the energy is right. So, and the class is good. And I mean, what's a good class? Now, just a little brainstorming session. Think of the qualities, or think of the classes or ceremonies or workshops you had in the past that were really good. Like, what did you like about it? Just take a moment to write some pointers down. And if you want, also, you can share it in the comments. I would love to see it, of course. But yeah, this is something. And also, what are the qualities for you for a good teacher? Okay. Anyone wants to share anything in the comments? So it's important to know what you teach, because people will feel it. You will transmit that, and not trying or pretending to be someone you're not. And become really specific. Maybe you want to teach yoga for people that, I don't know, live very stressful lives, or like burned out moms, or I mean, you can get really specific, but something that actually connects to your own story. I guess this is like the best way to teach, is like you tell a story as a teacher. And it's not about imposing your, I don't know, shit on the people. That's really not. Don't do that. But you teach from your experience, and then that's real. It's not. made up or pretending to be a guru or just weird stuff. So anyway, this is our theoretical part. Let me know in the comments now if you have any questions, like specific questions. You can also send me an email later, tomorrow, whatever you want. But if you have a question, leave it out now, like leave it in the comments now so I can answer it. And then if you don't have a question, we'll just have a small pee break and then we'll immerse ourselves into our yin journey of stillness. Also in your email there was a playlist. If you want to listen to that music, you can in the background. And I will not play music here because it would sound not as clear. But yeah, please go pee if you have to pee. And maybe we'll leave some fresh air just for a moment, much space if you want. And I recommend if you have some pillows, a blanket close by, maybe even a book or a yoga block you may use. So we'll start in, let's say, a minute. So you have one more minute. Okay, I managed to create some mess with my candle. So you can slowly lie on your back. We're starting with Shavasana. Make sure your mat is flat. Maybe you have some big floor on top or a blanket. Feel also free to have a blanket close by in case you need it throughout this journey. It's a yin journey of stillness. So calling in stillness. So as you lie on your back, take your knees for a moment into a hug and just rock from side to side. And then extend your legs into the floor. Hands can be placed on your physical body or next to it. Taking a few conscious breaths from your feet all the way through the top of your head. And as you exhale, imagine how your body is sinking deeper into the mat. Allowing yourself to fully arrive here, remembering your intention. Bringing awareness to your heels, touching the floor, the lower legs, your thighs, the buttocks sinking deeper into the floor, your hips, your upper body, the front and the back, your arms, your neck and head, face, including the jaw, the throat, and the shoulders. Becoming aware of your full body here, lying on the mat, noticing the physical sensations, thoughts, emotions, energy. And then bring your feet together, your hands on your hips. We'll be opening the right side of our physical body here by first taking a deep belly breath in. And then as you exhale, imagine your hips are sinking deeper into the mat, allowing your hips to ground. And from here, walk your feet to the left side, but only as far as your hips stay grounded. Finding your edge here, the sweet spot between relaxation and intensity. And that intensity may be physical, maybe emotional, maybe mental. Once you reach that point, you can place your right or left leg on top, or just keep them next to each other, softening the toes. From here, walk the upper body to the left, only as far as your shoulder blades and your hips stay grounded, taking the arms behind your head, maybe grabbing the opposite elbow, maybe not. Head can stay centered or turn towards the left. Taking a few deep breaths here, noticing how this shape feels in your physical body. With every exhale, you allow your body to sink deeper into the mat, softening your legs, the glutes, your shoulders, neck, head, your eyes, jaw, the belly. You're opening here the right side, the right door of our hearts. Every exhale, you soften deeper. And from here, taking your final breaths. And slowly centering your head and walking your upper body back to center. And then letting the legs follow. Taking a full breath through the body, in and out. Noticing both sides and how they feel. Grounding the hips with the next exhale. And then slowly walking your feet towards the right side. Noticing where the sweet point is here. Staying open to this shape, exact same shape, feeling completely different on the left side of your body. Now let the upper body follow, taking whatever variation you've taken before that still feels good to you. And then take a few breaths to arrive, to sense. Scanning your body from the toes to the top of the head and fingers. Noticing any tension you're holding that is not needed to be held right now. Maybe gently releasing with the next exhale. Taking your final breaths here. And then slowly centering your head and moving the upper body back to center. Letting your legs follow Full breath in the center, full breath out. And then from here, feel free to give your knees a hug, maybe even gently rock from side to side. Until you roll over to one side that feels good. Coming into embryo, using your lower arm for a block or pillow blanket as a pillow beneath your head. Notice your breath flowing through the front and the back of your heart, in and out. And remember your intention here. And then slowly, with the front hand, lift yourself up in a seated position. You can keep the eyes closed if that feels good to you. And just take a moment here, noticing how you're feeling physically, mentally, emotionally, and energetically. So, for our next shape, you may want to have some pillows in the front and maybe a block or a pillow close by in case you need it. Also, in this shape, a blanket can be nice over your head to cozy up. We'll come in two hands and knees first. And we will slide our right knee towards our right wrist and then turn our right foot towards the left hand, wherever it lands, it doesn't matter. From here, slide your left leg towards the back of the room and come for a moment onto your fingertips, lifting yourself up and out of your hips. And then slowly lower down. If you feel there's lots of space between the earth and your buttocks and you want some grounding, use a prop. And then here in the front, you can come onto your lower arms first. Maybe have a bolster where you have more pillows. You can keep your head in one line with your neck, or you can release your neck, maybe use your fist as a support or a block under your forehead. And maybe you're here, wherever you are, that's perfectly fine. Taking a few deep breaths, arriving into this shape. Bringing awareness to where you feel the most sensations in this shape. And keep breathing as you explore those sensations. Find yourself to exhale through the mouth whenever you need to release. Softening your jaw here, your tailbone, the toes. belly, shoulders and neck. Every exhale, you allow yourself to let go, to surrender. Noticing where you're holding control in your physical body, your thoughts, emotions. Taking your final breaths here, really breathing down into your hips and belly, all the way up, creating space in your spine, and then exhale, let go, surrendering towards the earth. 2 more times. And slowly remove any props and bring your hands to touch the floor. And slowly walk yourself back up, lifting yourselves gently out of your hips, sliding that right knee back, and coming into hands and knees, just standing here still for a moment. Sometimes we have the impulse to move. Let's just feel. For the next side, if you have to switch any props, you can do that now. And then we'll slide our left knee towards our left wrist, bringing our left foot towards the right hand, and then sliding the right leg back. Coming onto your fingertips, lifting yourself up and out of your hips, centering your hips here, and slowly coming back down, using whatever props you need on this side. Giving yourself some time to arrive by taking deep breaths and feeling and noticing the sensations on this side. Every exhale, you soften, you melt towards the earth. Bring awareness to the physical body. Whenever you feel you drift away places that do not feel like serving you right now. Coming back to the breath and your intention. Final breath. When you're ready, gently slide away your props and walk yourself back and out of this shape. Coming onto hands and knees one more time. Really feeling both parts of your body right now here. We'll now let our heart melt forward. You may want to have a pillow in front or a block. And you can walk your hands forward, slide them, and then bring your upper body back down, placing your forehead on the floor. The buttocks and the hips stay up. Breathing deeply into your spine here, to your belly. And as you exhale, offer your heart forward, softening your neck, your shoulders. And then slowly release and come back down, sitting on your heels here into a seat position or a child's pose if you prefer that. Bring the knees together, arms next to your legs, resting here. Or you can also lean the hands forward, taking the knees slightly wider. Telling yourself here something kind, something soothing. Maybe just, hey, I'm holding you. You're safe here. You're allowed to feel what you feel. And I'm here to witness that. And then from your child's pose, you can find a way to come into a seated position for a moment, keeping the eyes closed. Noticing how you're feeling now. opening the hips and then opening the heart. Now we're gonna bring that back to center and the chest in a twist. Also, if you feel slightly cold, you want to put on some socks, a jumper, this is a good moment. Then you don't have to stand up again, as we'll be standing now on the floor line until we reach Shavasana. So you can come on your back, remove any props, and have a pillow or a yoga block close to your left hip. I like to walk my shoulders out here so I can really lie flat, bringing the hands on your hips and gently lifting the hips, sliding them towards the right side for a few centimeters or inches. We're gonna bring our right leg up, place it on top of the left. Maybe you wanna wrap it all the way around. Maybe it's just hanging here. And then with the next exhale, let your knees fall out towards the left side, maybe on the prop, walking the shoulders away from each other. The arms can be one on your physical body, one spread out like a wing, or both spread out. You can leave your head where it is in the center or turn it towards the opposite direction. Breathing deeply into your belly here. Arriving into this shape. Every exhale, you allow your knees to become heavy, releasing any tension in the shoulders, your buttocks, belly, and jaw. Taking 5 more deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, center your head first. Bring the hands to touch your physical body and guide those knees back to center. Taking here a full breath in and out. Shifting your prop to the right side. Bring the hands on your hips. Gently lift your hips Slide them for a few inches or centimeters to the left. Placing your left leg on top of the right. And then letting your knees with the next exhale fall to the right side. Taking whatever variation suits you for the head and the arms. Deep belly breaths here to arrive and soften into this shape on this side. Softening. And then center your head. Bring the hands to touch your physical body. And slowly guide your knees back to center. Taking a full breath in and out here. And give your knees a hug. Maybe gently rock from side to side. And then find stillness for a moment, really feeling how your spine grounds down into the floor. And then we're slowly going to move into Shavasana or final resting shape. If you want, you can roll up a blanket and place it under your knees. If you don't have a bolster, really make yourself feel cozy and warm. And as you're lying on your back, take 3 deep breaths in and out. Deep inhale, holding the breath at the top. And exhale through the mouth, releasing it all, feeling how your body sinks deeper into the mat. One more time, inhale. Hold the breath at the top for a second, and then exhale, release, soften and sink deeper into the mat. Last breath, deep breath in and out. I can completely let go here and rest. I will talk to you and let you know when it's time to come back, knowing that you have the capacity to hold space for yourself here. Remember your intention here. And slowly start taking deeper breaths in and out, noticing the ground beneath you. Bringing gentle movement into your fingers, your toes, rolling the head from side to side. And linking your arms over the head for a nice gentle stretch. And from here, hug your knees one more time into your chest. And put all your love in, giving thanks to yourself for showing up tonight and going on this journey. For trusting your heart, trusting the process, and taking care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and energetically. And then roll over to one side and rest here for a moment in embryo. And then when you're ready, lift yourself up in a seated position for our closing meditation. Bring the hands in front of your heart in prayer, softening the shoulders here, your face, the fingers. Taking a deep breath in, really lengthening through the crown of your head, exhaling through the nose, grounding your hips towards the floor, releasing the shoulders. Noticing your breath flowing in and out your nose. There are three things you feel really grateful for about today. Three things that happened today that you appreciate, that you learned. And then drop your awareness to your chest, your heart. How it lifts as you inhale and lowers as you exhale. Knowing that you can always connect to that inner light. And bring your hands in gratitude to your forehead, gently bowing your head towards the heart, merging the two energies. Giving thanks to yourself, to your teacher, to each other, and to this amazing practice. Thank you so, so much for journeying with me tonight, for taking the time and being so present. I really, really appreciate it. And if there's anything that comes up, please feel free to write me an email. I hope you're all back. I hope you don't fall asleep on your mat and you can make it smoothly to your bed. If there's anything you need to journal, please do. Also, even if it's bad time, maybe a few sips of water will feel good to flush So I will now close this live stream. Thanks so much again, and I can't wait to see you all in person. Good night.